This will be a great video to watch about an hour before your driving test, or even a day or two beforehand as well. 50 quick tips to passing your test. So let's get on with it. Number 1, make sure you arrive at the test centre early, at least 15 minutes. And have your phone ready because the tester is going to call you when it's your turn to come in. Number 2, they will provide you with a face mask. So if you wear glasses and you're worried about your glasses fogging up, make sure you bring some surgical tape to help prevent this happening. Double check the time and date of your test. Make sure you arrive at the correct test centre. Make sure your indicators and brake lights are working correctly. There should be no warning lights on your dashboard. Your tyres must be in good condition. They should be at the appropriate pressure and they should have good depth. The minimum tyre tread depth is 1.6 millimeters. Ensure your tax, insurance and NCT discs are clearly displayed and that they are valid and in date. Don't forget to bring your learner permit with you. It too must be valid and in date. You have to have L plates on your car, front and back. Tip number 9. Let the tester know at the start if you have any difficulties or concerns. So for example, if you're a little bit hard of hearing or you get your lefts and your rights mixed up, let the tester know and he will hopefully take appropriate action to make the experience easier on you. Make sure you have a good knowledge of your car's controls. So for example, make sure you know how your lights and your wipers work, not to mention your demisters. You really don't want your front or back windows fogging up during your test. Study up on the theory and road signs. But remember, this is only a small part of the test. Even if you get everything wrong here, the worst that'll happen is you'll lose a mark. Just move on with the test and focus on the driving. Make sure you're comfortable using your handbrake. So when it's up, make sure it's up fully, and when you want to let it down, make sure you press the button in so it goes down fully. You don't want to hear any warning sound to say that the handbrake is not down fully. Your position on the road is so important. In general, stay left of centre on a good straight road, but stay central on a narrow lane or if you are in a dual carriageway of some sort. Don't hesitate and don't drive too slow. If it's safe to go, just go. You need to demonstrate to the tester that you are confident and decisive. But having said that, you need to adjust your speed downwards to suit the road conditions. So if you are in a housing estate with lots of parked cars, lots of speed bumps and some potholes, make sure you reduce your speed, maybe drop a gear and watch out for any danger ahead. Do not forget to check your blind spot when moving off from a parked position. This is very often neglected just after the turnabout and just after the reverse round the corner. Next tip is on observation. At junctions and roundabouts, keep the head moving. Remember, lots of quick looks is best. Don't stare the one way too long. If the road divides into two up ahead, so into 2 lanes for example, make sure you always stay in the left lane unless the tester says otherwise. If you are changing lanes or overtaking, make sure you get extra mirror checks. So if you're moving out to the right, for example, or overtaking on the right, make sure you get extra right side mirror checks to watch out for anybody that could be coming from behind. Always check mirrors first before you indicating. So for example, before coming to junctions or roundabouts. If you have trouble remembering your mirrors, think of MISS, M-I-S-S. Mirrors indicate, slow down, second gear. Plan ahead. Read the road ahead. Don't zone in on the one thing too much. Be aware of clearance. So if you are giving way to oncoming cars, don't stop too close behind the stationary car. And when overtaking, don't overtake too close. Try be a door length, but at the same time, don't be too far away either. Make sure you signal in good time without being misleading. In most cars, the steering wheel will automatically switch off the indicators, so you don't need to manually switch it off after you finish a turn. And speaking of signals, make sure you know the hand signals. I'm going to demonstrate them now in case you don't know. So pretend I'm in the driver's seat. If you want to give a hand signal to traffic from behind that you're turning right, it's like that, straight out. Traffic from behind that you're turning left, just make circles like that. Traffic from behind that you're slowing down or stopping, up and down. Your hand will be out the window. Make sure you check your mirrors as well before you do this. If you want to give a hand signal to a Garda or a pointsman that you're going straight, left hand up, just under your centre mirror. To a Garda or pointsman, you're going right, straight out the window again. To a Garda or pointsman, you're going left, bring your right hand across your body like that, okay? So they're the hand signals. Next tip, do not beckon other road users, such as pedestrians or other drivers, out onto the road or out of a junction. If you beckon them, they're probably not going to pay the proper attention. Let them make their own mind up. In a slow-moving queue of traffic, watch out for people or cyclists or motorbikes on either side of your car. It's a good idea to check the mirrors before you move off. Next tip is also on queues of traffic. So if the car in front of you moves forward, don't automatically rush and follow him. Make sure that you don't block any other entrance, that you don't accidentally stop on a pedestrian crossing, or that you don't accidentally stop on a yellow box. If you're asked to take a right turn at traffic lights, make sure that you roll up into the centre of the junction on a green light. Then wait and give way to any other traffic if there is traffic, and proceed when it's safe. If you do not roll up into the middle on a green light, you will be done for progress. Be aware of stale green lights as well. This is a traffic light that's been green for a long time, so it could change to amber. Remember, only stop at an amber light if you can stop safely. Regarding the pedals, you must be gentle with the accelerator and the brake. So make sure in both cases you have your heel on the ground and you accelerate gently and gradually, and you brake the same, nice and gently and gradually. This will lead to smooth takeoffs and smooth stopping. With the clutch, do not lift it quick or hasty, as the car might jump or you could even stall. Don't coast too much either. Coasting is when you press the clutch in for prolonged periods of time. Get up the gears in good time without letting the engine get too loud. So for example, on a good straight road, you should be at around 50 kilometers and 4th gear. Usually you would do junctions, roundabouts and speed bumps in 2nd gear. Whether you drop down the gears one by one or skip from 4th to 2nd, for example, doesn't really matter. It's no big deal as long as you keep it smooth and as long as the car doesn't struggle. And also on gears, normally I advise people to stop in 2nd gear, and then once they've stopped, then go to 1st gear, creep out if necessary, and then go. There's no need to go all the way down to 1st gear every time you come to a stop sign. You're just giving yourself too much work to do. At a stop sign, make sure you stop fully. Even if the junction is really quiet and there's no other road users around, you still have to stop completely at a stop sign. There's no special rules or laws regarding using the handbrake, but I normally advise people to use the handbrake on a hill, when you're parked, at traffic lights, and if you're stopped over 4 or 5 seconds. Sometimes this little acronym here can help you, HALT, H-A-L-T. So use the handbrake on the hills, alighting or parking, at traffic lights, and if stopped over 4 or 5 seconds, the last T there for time. If you are doing a hill start, make sure you get a little extra acceleration and you bring the clutch up to get a good strong bite. But don't over rev. When you're doing a hill start, the clutch is more important than the revs. If you stall during your driving test, don't worry, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. As long as you maintain control of the car and recover and don't panic, you have every opportunity still of passing your test. Next tip is on steering. You should hold the wheel in the 1/4 to 3 position. Don't let the wheel spin through your hands after a turn, and you must avoid crossing your hands as well. If the road surface is bad, then slow down, maybe drop a gear, and make every effort to avoid potholes if it's safe and if it's practical to do so. You should always drive with your dipped headlights on. There's no special rule or law on this for the test, but using your dipped headlights is the best advice. This will make it easier for others to see you, especially during the winter months and especially in bad weather or poor light. Use your wipers if and when necessary if it starts to rain, but don't use them in the wrong way. So if it's only a little bit of light rain, there's no point in having your wipers on the fastest setting. When the rain stops, turn off your wipers. If you don't, you will lose marks on secondary controls. On the turnabout, drive slow and steer fast. Make sure you show good control with your clutch and your brake. You don't have to do it in 3 if it's a small road. Next tip is also on the turnabout regarding indicators. You should indicate at the start of your turnabout, just when you're moving out to the right. But apart from that, you don't have to indicate anymore. Having good clutch control is a vital skill, not just for the turnabout, but for the reverse and if you need to creep out at blind junctions. If you're not sure on what clutch control is, check out my link in the description. When you are doing the reverse around the corner, take it slow so you have more time to think. Make sure as well that you look behind most of the time. Don't look in the mirrors all the time. Avoid oversteering during the middle part and the end part of your reverse. On the reverse, if another car comes from behind you, or a cyclist or a pedestrian, make sure you stop and yield to them. If the other car, for example, can't or won't go around you, then go back to the start and start over. You can indicate left as you're reversing around the corner if you want, but it's not essential. If you fail your test, I know it can be upsetting, but don't worry too much. You can always try again and you can learn from the experience. This next tip is very important, but is probably going to be forgotten as well by a lot of people. If you fail your test, make sure that you listen very carefully to the feedback that the tester provides. This feedback can be crucial in terms of helping you understand where you went wrong and helping you prepare better for next time. If the tester doesn't provide you with any feedback, then ask for it. You have just paid €85 for the privilege of being failed. The least you deserve is some clear information on where you went wrong. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.